Illinois came away with the upset in their home opener against Oklahoma. Asher Hong got an 84.950 with a fall, and the final three athletes have been named for Winter Cup. For those new here, my name is Kinsley, and I'm the host of Neutral Deductions, a podcast all about men's gymnastics. And here's everything that happened in week 4 of the NCAA season.
This is the Neutral Deductions podcast, men's gymnastic news, coverage, and analysis. Hosted by Kinsley Beal.
Starting out with the most exciting meet of the weekend, OU versus Illinois at Illinois. Illinois ended up with a late home opener against the Oklahoma Sooners, who came off a stunning performance at the Rocky Mountain Open. The home team led the way after a head-to-head battle on floor. Despite their lead, it was OU's Emery Dodonley that came away with the floor title. Moving over to pommel horse, the Sooners took the lead and carried that lead through the next 3 rotations, but a meltdown on parallel bars and having to count 2 scores in the 11s meant that the Fighting Illini regained the lead and maintained that lead through the final rotation. The meet ended with a final score of 407.2 to 406.650. Illinois is now 3-0 for Pride meets. For individual awards, neither team fielded any all-arounders. Emery Dodonley of OU won his 3 events, floor, vault, and high bar. His teammate Ignacio Yockers won pommel horse with a fall. Illinois took 2 titles with reigning national champ Ashton Anaya topping the still ring standings and Will Hawk putting in a strong performance on parallel bars. A couple of things to highlight: OU was competing without Fuzzy Bennis, who currently owns the highest all-around score in the nation. And according to head coach Mark Williams' social media, Bennis has been dealing with the flu, and that was the reason he wasn't competing. Following the meet, Illinois head coach Daniel Ribeiro said, "Today was a big day for the Illini. These men understand fight. We had a number of mistakes today, but these guys didn't let any of those mistakes faze them." The turning point of the meet was when Tate Costa finished his parallel bar routine after a fall, and then Will responded with a huge 14.1. Our entire high bar lineup carried that momentum, with Logan Myers anchoring and sealing the victory for us. We will keep this momentum rolling. This is only the second win for Illinois when facing Oklahoma in the regular season, so it's a really big deal. They will look to keep that momentum as they face the Michigan Wolverines at home next weekend. Moving over to the Stanford Open, Stanford, Cal, and a group of athletes representing Team USA competed at the Stanford Open this past weekend, which also served as the final Winter Cup qualifying event. Unlike dual meets, which use a head-to-head format, the Stanford Open saw a traditional meet with different teams competing simultaneously on different events. Now, normally the home team starts in Olympic order on floor. However, it was Cal that was starting on floor while Stanford started on vault. 3-time world medalist Koi Young started the Cardinals off strong with a 14.85, which would end up being the highest score of the night. There was a lot of anticipation for 2-time world team member Asher Hong's vault. As one of only a handful of people who can compete the hardest vault in the world, it is always a piece of gymnastics that gets a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd. Hong attempted his Risei Guang vault, which is a full twisting double back Sukahara vault, but it was under-rotated and he fell. It's the first time he's competed this vault this season, and though he started the meet in a bit of a hole, he would end up victorious at the end of 6 events. Asher ended up winning the meet with an 84.850, meaning that without the fall, he would have been pushing 86, a huge number on the international stage. He surpassed Koi Young in the all-around after a massive 15.1 on still rings and also took that event title there. Koi took home titles on parallel bars and pommel horse in addition to his vault title, and Colt Walker was the only other event winner for the Cardinals, meaning that their 3 world team members were the best of the night. Cal's lone win came from the Darren Wong on high bar. Following the meet, Noah Neufeld, Brandon Nguyen, and Ian Gunther qualified spots for Winter Cup. And I also want to mention a couple of other key routines from the Team USA guys. So Riley Luce put in an all-around performance of an 82.5, which was good enough for 3rd place, and he was particularly strong on still rings, vault, and high bar. And Jeremy Bischoff competed 3 events, the strongest of which was parallel bars, where he placed 10th. Moving over to Springfield versus Army. Army took the win over Springfield at home, and as a team, they took the highest score on all 6 events. Army also swept the podium on floor, rings, and vault. Franco Pirano also took the top score on floor. Maddox Pabellon took the highest score on pommel horse ahead of Springfield's Peyton Kramer, who had been ranked 6th in the nation on that event. Jaden Blank took the highest score on still rings, and Steven Manalakis was excellent on vault. Sam Kaplan continues to be a standout for Springfield and won the parallel bars title. His teammate Owen Carney was the only gymnast to break the 13 mark on high bar, and he owns that title. The final meet of the weekend was William & Mary versus Navy. Navy took the victory over William & Mary by over 25 points. However, William & Mary did do enough to move up 1 place in the overall standings from 15th to 14th. Navy led the head-to-head dual meet by 4.9 points after the first rotation, and they never looked back. Though Navy was strong throughout the first rotation, they did so without Sam Berdegunta, who has performed strongly for them on floor all year. In his absence, Isaiah Drake picked up the win for the midshipmen. Drake also picked up the title on vault, while teammate Matthew Petrus led on parallel bars and high bar. The midshipmen swept all of the events, with Ronan McQuillan taking the pommel horse title and William Champagne taking rings. Head coach Kip Simmons said, "The team was very good today at home as we put in the final preparations for the big competition against Army next Saturday. Today, we tested our depth chart on each event, and we have the right team ready to go for next weekend." A quick moment to honor William & Mary. Sam Lee from William & Mary continues his impressive streak by placing second on parallel bars and vault. Navy's overall performance has moved them up to 7th place and continue to look for them as they inch closer to Ohio State. We will not be doing a full preview show later this week for week 5, so here is your quick preview of what to expect this coming weekend. 12 teams are going to be competing in mostly dual meets on Saturday, February 3rd. Navy host Army and Simpson host Greenville at 2 p.m. Eastern. Stanford will host Cal at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern for their third matchup of this year, so for those of you keeping track, Stanford and Cal have only competed against each other this year. Oklahoma will host Ohio State and ASU at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and the two key meets to watch for this coming weekend are Penn State and Nebraska and Michigan at Illinois. So Penn State has had a slower start to the season, and head coach Randy Jepson has cited injuries and illnesses. This meet will hopefully provide a clearer picture of where Penn State actually stands. Nebraska has proved at the Rocky Mountain Open that they are strong, and in their home opener, they will be looking to capitalize on their momentum to take down Big Ten rival Penn State. The other big matchup of the weekend is Illinois hosting Michigan. Illinois has proved that they are here to contend with the best of them after having knocked off number 1 Oklahoma at home. Michigan will need to be at their best to top Illinois. As always, links for live scoring and video links are available on our website at neutraldeductions.com. Before we move on to a little bit of business, we've gotten another 5-star review. This one is from Level Up Neuro, who said, "The source to follow for men's gymnastics. If you are a MAG fan or want to keep up with it now that it's an Olympic year, listen to this. I have learned so much from Kinsley, and thanks to her passion and expertise covering NCAA, US, and international events, I've become a big supporter of men's gymnastics." So thank you so much for that 5-star review. If you, as a listener, please would rate and review us on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcast. It really helps others find Neutral Deductions and learn more about men's gymnastics. If you would like to help bring more live men's gymnastics coverage, please consider donating. We are entirely listener supported at this point, and even $10 helps us cover a meal. We've received $1,120 in donations thus far, which have covered flights to Beach Boss Invitational, drive to Colorado Springs plus housing there, and the flight to Winter Cup, which is amazing. However, we are still looking for a little bit more money to cover the hotel for Winter Cup. It's about $800, so listener contributions will be very helpful in helping us cover that. So if you're able and willing to help bring this coverage to life, the PayPal link is in every show note at the bottom of every article at neutraldeductions.com, and you can donate via PayPal or Stripe. I did have one listener write in and say it was a little bit confusing on Stripe because it comes out as the Musicians Health Lab Incorporated, which is the official name of my business because I have a PhD in performing arts health, and so the other half of my life is helping musicians learn how to have healthy and happy careers. So think of it as like sports science research for musicians. So I understand that that's a little bit confusing, but I have filed a DBA or doing business as Neutral Deductions, so it is an official trade name that can be used. So please let me know if you have any other questions about that. If you have any other questions in general or comments or insider tips, you can email Kinsley at neutraldeductions@gmail.com. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time.